Hi, welcome to my next video. This time another video in the series in which I'm showing you how I make my comic Yuragi, which I'm making with watercolors and pencils. And in this part I'll focus on the main character, who's called Gokita. For the past few months I was really busy doing the illustrations for the Tokyo Storyfronts book and recently doing a storyboard for a short animation. But while I'm waiting for the storyboard to be accepted by the studio and the client, I had some downtime, so I managed to color some new pages of the comic. Actually, I'm really close to finishing it, just 9 pages left to finish the whole thing. And then I'll focus on the text and the cover and all the things that need to be done to publish it on the internet in form of an electronic comic. I'm planning to release it in Japanese, English and Polish, so it will also require some text editing and translation and getting everything right. So there's still a lot to do. Okay, so back to the picture, and in this scene, Gokita, so the main character, is kind of haunted by a thought about something that he doesn't want to face. I don't want to spoil too much of the comic's story, but he has a lot of things to think about. So in this scene I planned it so he's never in direct sunlight. He's always faced back to the sun, so his face and the front of him is in shadow. This put together with his already kind of frail look and this kind of sickly tone of his skin and his face that looks kind of puffy makes him look more sickly and weak and worried than he actually is, which is kind of my goal in this scene here. Even though he is actually backlit in most of the panels in this scene, I didn't want to paint him in like a backlit shadow, so he's really dark. Instead, I tried to use a little bit darker than usual colors on his skin and his clothes and his hair, and then leave out white highlights on the line of his face and his body where the light from the window would hit the most. I think that this approach worked well and gave Gokita a kind of backlit feel without making him too dark to read his emotions. Okay, and now for the technical details. I'm using here my standard Shmincke 48 colors watercolor set. There is a lot of colors in pages like this, so it's easier to have a lot of colors so I don't have to mix them every time, and I already have some colors decided. For example, I use this one for Gokita's hair and I use this one for his trousers. So it's easier to be consistent page over page because you know what color to use for his skin, for example. And it's also easier for me to get back to coloring this comic after a month or so of break. Using these colors as a base, I also mix tones. For example, Gokita's skin gets more sicklier and greener the more worried he is, or also the color changes because of the lighting he is in. But having a consistent base to start from is really convenient. For the paper I was using white Watson made by a company called Muse here in Japan, and it is a 300 grams per square meter watercolor paper, probably cold pressed from what I can tell. It has a good quality for the price, which was really important for a 53 pages project, and also worked well with my pencils. I used the mitsu-bishi HI UNI pencils for this comic mostly. Okay, so this is how the frame looks like with the background, and after some post-production in Photoshop. To read the whole comic you will have to wait until I finish it and publish it in digital form. As always, feel free to comment, share and subscribe, and you can also support me on Patreon. See you in the next video. Bye!